Hello, California, and welcome to this week's edition of Your Financial Compass, the show dedicated to helping you successfully navigate to and through your retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm joined in the studio by the founder of Bulman Wealth Group. We have Chris Bulman. He's also a financial advisor, and financial advisor Scott Bulman. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Today's show is dedicated all to financial literacy, and we know that there is so much within our industry that can be really confusing, really hard to understand. So our goal today is to really simplify things and help you know what you need to know, and most importantly, what those things mean for you and your financial future. Scott, Chris, always a joy to be here with both of you. How are you this week?
It's rare ever that both of us don't talk at the same time.
Right,
I was going to let him say good, then I was going to mention how last weekend, well, I wasn't going to mention that, but his back does hurt, so we had to wheel him in. Oh. Anyhow, some family in San Francisco were at a bowling alley last weekend, and they sent a picture. There's all these big screens at the bowling alley above the lanes, and it was our show on there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Chris, he told me a lifelong dream was to be bowling alley famous.
Well, they say TV adds 10 pounds. Literally, I'm only 140 in real life. So it really does.
That's why his back hurts.
The camera is not kind to most people, but that's really neat that you, I love that. Oh, it's what? It's no. I said to
Backhand
anyone,
compliment.
the camera automatically adds 10 pounds and sucks away 10% of your energy. So it's up to us to make up for all that, right?
I think she just called me fat.
No.
Here on Your Financial Compass, fat shaming.
Stop it. Yeah. All right. Well,
it does. It is hard. If you see me not smiling, and you know, it's because it's hard. When your cheeks are this big, it's hard to spread them open and smile. So,
Are we doing a show today?
Yeah, I've been accused of being a squirrel and just having just squirreling away food for the winter here.
All right. Well, back to financial literacy. Again, if you're new to us, we do like to have a lot of fun on this show. You never know what these two are going to say. But in all seriousness, I think what it can hold a lot of folks back from really engaging in the financial planning process is there's just a lot of confusion. There's a lot to know. And if this is new to you, it can be like learning a new language. I don't know about you guys, but I remember when I first got into the industry over a decade ago, literally going through the exams, learning all of this, it was like learning a foreign language. And because of Investopedia and the Financial Dictionary, did you know that there's over 1,800 different acronyms and definitions to know? So our job today is to
go through each and every one of those.
No, but we're going to hit some highlights of things that are important for you to know and understand so that you can be confident you're making the best decisions for your financial future. So the ones I want to start with, you guys, are ones that it's important for folks to understand when they are looking to see which kind of financial professional they want to work with. So what are some terms that people should be aware of when they're actually interviewing a financial advisor?
Yeah, and this could change, right? Because we have this new DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and some of these are already being talked about, maybe being cut back or folded together. But the big one, or two of the big ones are FINRA and SEC. FINRA is the Financial Industry Regulation Authority, and they manage or regulate broker-dealers. So if you're working with a firm that does stocks, bonds, mutual funds only, that's the type of firm that they regulate, and that's also broker-dealers, usually for commission type investments. One of the things they provide is something called broker check, and I use this a lot. If someone comes in with an advisor and they say, it doesn't seem like they're being honest or telling me the right things, and I look them up. If you look up on broker check, you can look up your advisor, and if there's red dots, those are all the times they got in trouble with FINRA, right? So I think it's important to understand FINRA, and it's important to understand that you can look at broker check to see if you're interviewing advisors, kind of where they stand with how much trouble they've been in.
And just their work history and understanding where they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the SEC, Chris said FINRA oversees the SEC. That's, if you know sports, the Southeastern Conference, which is inferior to the Big Ten, by the way. But all jokes aside, it's the Securities and Exchange Commission. Actually, the SEC oversees FINRA, so SEC is kind of the big brother. So we're a nationally registered firm, which means they're kind of overlooking us to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're not doing anything we're supposed to, saying anything we're not supposed to, staying above board. And as Chris said, a lot of times we'll have people come in as they're meeting us for the first time, and they'll go to that broker check website just to make sure that we're licensed, we're who we say we're.
That's being smart, right?
It is being smart. Yeah. So it's like going to Yelp for a what do you call it?
Restaurant
review.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing, even though you don't get reviews like, oh, the one with the chubby cheeks is not as good as the other one. It would say that. is what my mom said. So.
All right, so we've got the SEC.
I like steak.
What are we going to do?
Overarching FINRA. But those are the governing bodies. So now let's talk about some of the individual designations, because that's where it can really get confusing when you see all these letters after different advisors' names. And there's different designations, they mean different things. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we'll start with RIA, which stands for Registered Investment Advisor. And RIA is a firm that manages investments governed by SEC. Well, if you have under 100 million managed, you're governed by the state. Once you get over 100 million, you're terminated by the state, and then you have to apply with the SEC
On a national level.
on a national, federal level.
Yep.
So one good note there is if you see that a company, an RIA, has been terminated, but they are still registered, it's a bad word that I don't know why they put that on there. It should just be transitioned.
Yes.
Because you weren't terminated, you moved up a level.
Right. You graduated, if you will,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So
To
that's
the big
important.
dogs.
It's really important to understand, because we had someone who was going to be a client, and they then said, "Oh, I saw you were terminated by the state." Well, we weren't terminated; we were promoted.
Yes.
But that's what they list on the site, so it's kind of wild there.
It just adds to the confusion.
So
Correct.
RIA is the firm, the Registered Investment Advisory Firm. Not to be confused with IAR, which is an investment advisor representative, which is an advisor that works for the RIA firm.
Right.
So those are the two that get confused a lot.
And there
as
will
well.
be a pop quiz. If you haven't already changed the channel of the scintillating subject matter.
No, but financial literacy, I mean, again, this is why it's so confusing. You've got RIAs, but usually who is employed at RIAs are IARs, right? Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah, and the IARs are just the licensed individuals who are licensed to manage money for a fee. So we go back to the whole, 20 years ago it was different. Everything was commission-based,
Right.
whereas now a lot has transitioned into fee-based. So a lot of times when people call, they say, we want to make sure you're fee-based, which 25 years ago, who would have ever said, we want to make sure you charge us a fee.
Right.
But people don't want to be charged a commission on their stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, because then that shows that maybe you're just trying to sell something to get a commission versus fee-based. If you're working with a fee-based RIA or IAR, you can terminate that relationship anytime you want. So it then places it on Scott, myself, other IARs of RIAs, which is difficult to say, to always have to perform and keep that relationship up, because you can fire them at any time.
Right. Well, because you're working for the clients. You're not working for any
Correct.
other company, so to speak.
Exactly.
So talk about those two things real quick, the fact that you're independent and that you're also a fiduciary, and what those things mean.
Yeah, it's one of the, fiduciary is a buzzword that's tossed around a lot, but it is very important. And the way I see it, even outside the technicality of what it means, is the independence of it, which allows, as Chris said, if we manage money at Fidelity, we don't work for Fidelity. I work for Bulman Wealth Group, and I work for my clients. We don't work for Fidelity, but we have the independent aspect means, we've touched on this on other shows, is we have all the different tools. We're not, we can only sell this series of funds.
Right, you're not beholden to
No.
any one thing, yeah.
And it also eliminates a conflict of interest.
Yes.
There are some non-fiduciary firms, you go there and they're serving you that many. You don't go to Chick-fil-A and order a Big Mac. I always joke to folks, we're the food court. We have all the different options.
Wait. I thought I was the only guy that used food references.
I learned it from watching you. Remember that 80s ad? Learned it from watching you. So the independence and an independent aspect of being able to offer all the different tools, but also just the conflicts of interest. We're not trying to just do something to make money or sell this fund so we can get paid again. It eliminates all of that stuff.
Right. Well, again, we've got a lot more to get to. As we said, there's 1,800 acronyms. We're not going to get to all of them during this show, but hopefully we're going to cover some of the ones that are most important for you as you're deciphering and figuring out who you want to partner with to help you design your financial future, who you want to help you successfully navigate to and through your retirement with. And I know you're excited always, each and every week, to connect with more folks. It's super exciting to see the call reports come in. And really, when those numbers come in of folks who, just like yourselves, have called into the show, those are lives being changed for the better. So I'm excited for more folks to connect with you this week. What would you say to anyone who's out there and maybe looking for a partner to help them navigate to and through their retirement?
I think a lot of the reasons that people are afraid to reach out is because this is new territory. I'm going to ask a dumb question. I mean, as we said, there's 1,800 acronyms. I don't know them all. Chris knows like 18 of them. But demystifying the financial planning realm is what we try to do, is remove the veil and just like, what is something, what is it not, what do you need to know, what don't you need to know, and just kind of relieving that burden of, I need to know everything about my money. That's one of the reasons people choose to work with advisors. If that's you, if you feel like you have a lot of dumb questions that need to be answered, we'll be happy to, because we've heard them all. You can call the number below, scan the QR code, and we can have a conversation.
Wonderful. Well, we got a lot more to get to. Scott, Chris, thank you so much. But this is a great opportunity for you to connect with the team of Bulman Wealth Group. This is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation, to get your questions answered and see how they might be able to help and serve you. It starts by claiming your very own complimentary financial compass review, and you can claim yours by calling that number on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685. Or if you'd rather connect online, we've got you covered. If you simply pull out your smartphone, you can open up that camera app, just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Bulman Wealth Group will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary meeting that way as well. We'll be back with more on our conversation of financial literacy right after this.
The team at Bulman Wealth Group is exceptional, from our advisor team to our service team, which is, I think, second to none. But it all revolves around the idea that our clients are vitally important.
One of the ways I feel like we differentiate ourselves is we want a relationship with our clients. And I really learned that from Chris, is there's so many dollars and cents and all this information to know, but at the end of the day, it's got to be a trust and a like, because we're partnering with somebody. So I want them to think a trip to see me is not a trip to the DMV or to the dentist, but it's just being able to share in the good times and be available to be a resource in the bad times too.
Our clients are our friends. I really view them as part of our family because we go through some pretty significant life events. So it's really being a partner with our clients through all those life events and through the life journey.
Have you considered refinancing your retirement? When interest rates are low, you might be able to refinance your homes, your car loans, and even your credit card rates, because it could help you keep more of your own money each month. But what happens when interest rates go up? It may make sense to refinance your retirement. Higher interest rates could provide income opportunities that you may not be aware of. What works for your portfolio during low interest rates may not work for you in a high interest rate environment. So don't look down at today's higher interest rates. Instead, find out if a retirement refi could work better for you. Call the number you see here or scan the QR code below to schedule your complimentary Refi Your Retirement review today. Well, welcome back to Your Financial Compass. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with Chris and Scott from Bulman Wealth Group, where today we are tackling some financial literacy and, most importantly, what that means for you. As we said at the top of the show, there's so many acronyms, there's so many terms within our industry that can really be confusing for folks. And again, this is why a lot of times people are scared to reach out. They're scared to connect with financial advisors. They are afraid of what they don't know and afraid of looking stupid, right? I know that was the case for me. The first time I ever met with a financial advisor in my mid-20s, I left feeling so incredibly dumb. I found out later that I was not meeting with someone who was a fiduciary and who was independent like Chris and Scott were. I wish I had met you guys back then, but we were all around the same age then. So anyway.
No, he wasn't.
I've always been older. Way older.
Older and wiser, right? Anyway, all right, going back to our list of acronyms, there's one at the top of our list here for this segment that is so critical to know, and I'm blown away. It is so important. It affects everyone eventually in retirement, and yet I'm blown away that most people I meet have never even heard of it and don't know what it means. That is RMDs. So let's break it down. What are RMDs and what do folks need to understand about them?
Yeah, so an RMD is a required minimum distribution. Some people call it RDM or DRM, or everyone confuses it. But
Run DMC.
Run DMC.
Right.
It's the money that the government, the IRS, requires you to take out of your accounts once you reach a certain age. It used to be 70 and a half, it's now 73. It'll probably change again. But it's, let's say you have $1 million in your IRA, and you happen to own rentals, and you have a pension, and you have more income than you need already, but everyone always told you to fund your IRA or fund your 401k over time. So you've got $1 million sitting there. Now you're 73 years old. You don't need any more money. You're already paying high taxes. Government says you have to take money out of your IRA every year in the form of an RMD, required minimum. It starts just as an approximate around 4%. It goes up every single year as you get older, the percent. And the reason is the government wants to get those tax dollars, right? So even if you don't need income, you have to take income, which then you pay taxes. You can do whatever you want with it after that, but you can't put it back into an IRA.
Right. And if you don't take the RMD, what happens?
Penalty. And so the penalty, you don't want to get there. The penalties can be as much as 50%. So you want to make sure that you stay up on those, make sure that you're talking to an advisor. And the reason a lot of people don't hear about this, to be honest with you, is if you're working with an advisor that the majority of their clientele is 30s, 40s, 50s, well, they're not thinking about RMDs.
Right.
The majority of our clients are 50 and older, retirees, pre-retirees, with $500,000, $1 million, $2 million or more. Those are the clients that, the majority of our clients, they need RMDs, or they usually don't need them, but they have to take them.
They have to take them, right?
IRS needs them.
So we are working on strategies to try to mitigate the tax issues that come from RMDs.
Well, and that penalty, to your point, used to be 50%. Secure 2.0 Act came out. They lowered it to 25%. Oh, man, how nice of them.
Well,
we don't want you to pay the penalty regardless, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's 25, 50%. We don't want you paying that penalty.
And here's the thing. We're going to introduce it here in a bit, but we have a calculator that will help you to understand your tax bill all through retirement. And a lot of you don't know that, and I know that because when you come see us and we show you in a financial plan what your tax bill is going to be, a lot of the times it's like, whoa, I didn't know I was going to be in that situation.
Right.
So we want to make sure that you're investing today according to your income and growth and tax bill that you'd like to see in the future.
So let's talk about this awesome tax bill calculator that you have created, because this is something that you used to use exclusively with your clients, but we are going to provide it to all of you, our viewers, at no cost to you. So we're going to put up a site here on the bottom of the screen, but we invite you to visit BulmanTaxBill.com. You can also click that QR code that will take you directly to this tax bill calculator. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to ask you for just 4 pieces of basic information: your name, your email address, so that your personalized report can be emailed directly to you. It will also ask for how much money you have saved up in those tax-deferred accounts. Maybe it's your traditional 401k, your traditional IRA, all that money you're saving for retirement that you've not paid tax on yet. It's also going to ask you for your current tax bracket, as well as the rate of return that you expect to earn with that pot of money. And you'll notice on that site, if you go there right now, that there's 2 little sliders, so you can actually adjust the rate of return. You can also adjust the tax bracket in case you think you might be in a different tax bracket within coming years. Now, you click submit, and instantly, side by side, you're going to be able to see the difference between the government's tax plan for you, if you do nothing, how much tax you're going to have to pay over your lifetime on that pot of money, versus how much money you could save in taxes if you enact some tax planning strategies that the team of Bulman Wealth Group would love to be able to help walk you through. So you're going to see that instantly side by side. And once you see that comparison, you can't unsee it. To your point, a lot of folks are shocked, right? I mean, you've seen this happen in your office when you've run this report with folks, and they can't believe how much they could potentially pay in taxes.
It's that, and also the fact, I mean, we kind of speculate that, or theorize that taxes are going to go up. So say you're 60 now and you're not going to have to touch these this money or take your RMDs for at least 13 years. With basic growth, assuming tax rates go higher, it just might even be larger tax bills, which obviously no one's a fan of. So again, you can go to a website, do the tax thing as Krista mentioned. If you have questions beyond the scope of just taxes or Social Security, or am I in the right investments risk, or I'm afraid of running out of money, all those questions can be posed to us, and click on the link, go to the website, we'll set up a time to talk, and just hopefully, if you have questions about the acronyms, there's a million things to know. We'll be happy to talk and then see where that leads us.
Yeah, and you'll also receive that detailed report coming to your inbox, which will actually break down and show you your projected RMDs as you continue to get older. So it's a really powerful tool. Again, we invite you to visit that tax bill calculator by visiting BulmanTaxBill.com. And once you see those numbers, you're probably going to want to reach out to the team of Bulman Wealth Group to figure out how you can start enacting some of these tax planning strategies. So I'm curious, what would that conversation look like? Once someone brings you that information after they've done the tax bill calculator, where do you go from there?
A conversation. We always say it begins with a conversation. Generally, that taxes aren't going to be your only concern. So maybe that's the catalyst for it, and we find out what are some of the other things. What are the things you want to set up in terms of goals, bucket list items? What are those other things keeping you awake at night, or you're worried about beyond taxes, running out of money, healthcare, what have you? And we just talk and see. And after all these years of being advisors, we've heard all the different questions, so it's just a matter of using our experience and seeing if there's ways that we can answer them for you.
Yeah, and it's, a lot of people have gardeners or pool guys or people that change their oil. We need partners for different areas of our life that we're not experts at.
Right.
And really, that's the role that we play. People come in a lot of times in a meeting, if we're sitting for an hour, this is after someone's a client. It could be 80% talking about family and 20% talking about finances. We build relationships with our clients. We love that. That's what we're kind of known for, and
doing life with people.
And doing life with people, and making sure that we're protected. Legacy planning, income planning, retirement planning, tax planning, healthcare planning. Those are the legs of the stool that we stand on, and that we make sure that everyone's covered by.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, if you have questions about anything that Chris and Scott have been talking about, or maybe you've gone to BulmanTaxBill.com, you've seen what your potential tax burden in retirement might be, and you're saying, yes, I want some help. I want to make sure that I can take steps even now to proactively reduce my taxable income in retirement. We invite you to pick up the phone and call that number on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685, or you're welcome to scan that QR code. That will get you connected as well to start your very own complimentary financial compass review. We'll be back with more right after this.
After college, I spent 8 years active duty as an Army officer, as a captain in the Army. And I was really driven by this idea of service and serving something bigger than myself. And when I got out of the military, it was an easy transition to financial services as a financial advisor. There was a firm that was looking for military officers who had just gotten out. They had done a study, and the people that served in the military tended to do well in financial services. And once I got into it, I just really fell in love with not only working with clients, but building portfolios, the strategic part. Just like in the military, in a military operation, you're here today and later you want to get to this destination. How are you going to get there safely? Planning all the logistics, the danger areas, planning around those. They just related to each other in a way that just made sense for me. And this feeling of serving clients, serving others that's bigger than myself became kind of my calling, just as serving in the military was my calling.
Imagine not having to face your retirement journey with the same old corporate solutions just like everyone else. In these economic times, you deserve a fresh perspective that includes a personalized income plan and a tax map from independent fiduciary advisors who focus on you. Call the number that you see here. Schedule your complimentary review right now.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass, where today we've been discussing some key acronyms, some terms within our industry that are really important for you to understand as it relates to your retirement. The next one on our list is FRA. So that stands for?
France, the country. No. I'm a big soccer fan with international games. That's their little acronym. So it means full retirement age when it comes to Social Security. We get a lot of questions about Social Security. It seems to be the driving force. When we talk about Social Security or taxes, people's ears perk up. And full retirement age is an FRA is a term of Social Security. What that means is it's the age where Social Security is deemed you're going to get 100% of your benefit. So right now the full retirement age is 67. So if you were born in the year 1960 or later, Chris was born in 1959, so he's not on this schedule. Your full retirement
Look
age
good
is
for my age.
67. And what that means, like I said, is you get 100% of your benefit. If you wait up until 70, it increases by 8% a year. Or if you take it earlier, you get a lesser amount, because you get penalized for starting earlier. But at the end of the day, it is your full retirement age. There's a lot of moving parts around it. We probably don't have time for today. We've done other shows on it about, what if you're not full retirement age and still working and want to collect Social Security? There's all these different ramifications. So understanding what it means to you is a big thing, and we walk through those scenarios all the time.
Yeah, so that FRA is that magic date where you're entitled to 100% of your benefit from Social Security, and if you're still working, you're not going to be penalized for going ahead and claiming it.
Yeah.
So again,
and we have a whole show on Social Security that you can go in and watch on our website. All of our previous shows you can go in and watch on.
Yeah, so remind viewers the website.
Yeah, BulmanWealth.com, and you can go in and literally we have a page dedicated to just the TV show, and I think there's nearly 40 TV shows on there. So
yeah, and you also have the radio show, you have a podcast, you have a lot of live events. So talk a little bit about what you have going on for folks.
Oh, we have so many fun things going on. We will in 2025 do I think about 6 to 12, because we continue to add more client-only events. Anything from maybe a River Cats game, Scott's
Dunk
favorite,
tank with Chris. You throw the ball.
pumpkin. What do you? Pumpkin
No, don't-
decorating.
no.
It was actually.
He's going to make fun of me forever.
It was our most
he's
attended
crabby
event.
about it.
But it was succulent. That's what I'm trying to say. You build your own succulent.
you build
on the
your-
top
like
of
A
your
it.
own-
succulent pumpkin. Who would have thought?
There you
Never
go.
even
It
heard of
was so popular. People loved it. We do wine tasting. We do whiskey tasting with educators, not just to get drunk. We
Right.
have fun. But back to the acronyms.
Not to that period,
I want to make
just
sure we
to
cover
educate.
really quickly IRAs and Roth IRAs. A lot of people are confused about what those are.
Yes.
IRAs, or individual retirement accounts, are accounts that you can add money to yearly as long as you have earned income or your spouse does, and you fit within the income parameters of the rules of the IRS. But you can add money to this every year. It grows tax deferred, and you never pay taxes on it until you retire or until you take money out after 59 and a half, and you pay taxes on 100% of it. Or you could take Roth IRA. You put after-tax money in other words, you've already paid taxes. It grows until 59 and a half, and you get to take it out tax-free the rest of your life. So a lot of people wonder which one they should take. That's why you want to call us at 888-970-4685 or click on the link below. We'll be able to explain to you, should you fund your Roth 401k, your traditional 401k, your IRA, your Roth IRA, and how we can help you.
Yes, so much goes into this. I know we've just scratched the surface, but Scott, Chris, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us this weekend. We appreciate you being here. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. And we look forward to being back with you next time here on Your Financial Compass.